Happy Friday, sports fans. I hope everybody had a productive week. I know that phase 1 opened up, so we got to have a little bit more interactions with people. We got to feel a little bit more normal. We got to enjoy some fun in the sun. So I hope everybody had an amazing week. On top of the fact that some sports things are beginning to resume. So that's good news. We discussed on Wednesday the fact that the NBA was looking to open practice facilities today. We haven't heard much feedback on how that's going so far, but we will jump back to that in a moment. We're going to actually start this segment across the pond because they're getting the most drama at the moment. There's a lot of drama going on in the sports world, but what can you expect when you're just eager to get back, but you're trying to make sure that you're containing this very serious situation at the same time, but you're trying to please everybody? It's a lot. So German soccer has been cleared to resume May 16th. They are actually the first soccer league to try and make a comeback. So as of May 16th, they will start having their athletes back in their facilities practicing and starting to release a schedule of their full schedule of where their games are going to start coming into play. Now, a lot of people are still not happy about this. We somewhat discussed this in earlier segments. Their games will be played in empty stadiums. They are calling them ghost games now. But as we said earlier, the best that they can do in order to make sure that everybody is safe is have no fans, although we have some teams that are saying, hey, we can hold 65,000 people. We can bring in 20,000 fans. Soccer will resume with no fans, but Preshka was opposed to the fact that the Series A is looking to return right away. He says, we still do not feel safe. He released a statement in an article over in the UK and basically said, I don't know what part of we don't feel safe isn't being received to these teams, to team management, as well as the government. We don't want to come back just to come back. We don't trust the fact that testing is going to be our only way of saying, hey, you're cleared to play, because as we have beat to a dead pulp, there are symptoms that are asymptomatic. You don't know if people are carriers. You don't know if the people you're coming into contact with can carry on this virus. And that's a very scary thought. I don't blame him for that. But at the end of the day, they have a job to do. Their job is to play games, bring in that income from a soccer standpoint. And, you know, when you're in a government position or a management position, you're just looking at these people to bring in funds. Their safety is going to account to a certain percentage. It's in all realisticness that's how management is run. As we head to coming back to the States on a national scale, the NBA. If you thought we were done talking about The Last Dance, tis on you, because come on, there's been so much insight. We're talking about an NBA player who has only been very accessible in a certain capacity, as well as very tight-lipped about certain things in his private life, as well as his professional life. The biggest things we know about Michael Jordan is that he's a GOAT. Other than that, there's many things that we still do not know about this said GOAT. So The Last Dance, of course, is going to have drama, and there's still going to be information that's released and dropped on us as the segments continue to play through. Now, the newest drama is the fact that poor Dennis Rodman is feeling left out of the GOAT conversation. He thinks that Scottie Pippen is getting too much credit and talked about a little too much. He says that MJ is anointing Pippen as one of his best teammates and is acknowledging him for the fact that he would have never reached a pro zenith without him. So what do you guys think? Is Scottie Pippen one of the biggest assets to Michael Jordan, or was Dennis Rodman one of the biggest assets to Michael Jordan? We know that at the end of the day, no GOAT is a GOAT without great players along his side, but Rodman's feeling a little left out of this conversation in terms of how Michael Jordan got where he got, the championships he got, and the rings that he's wearing on his pretty little fingers. Now, for continued NBA conversation, we know that Mark Cuban is a staple in the NBA community, but he is saying that he is questioning the wisdom of the NBA at this point, because as we mentioned earlier, they opened their practice facilities today to let players start coming back in, and they will start a training camp before they head into 5-on-5 to open back up their schedule to finish the season. Mark Cuban says he doesn't think it's the wisest idea. Testing only goes so far. As we've seen, some of us, government-wise, there's not enough tests going around, and there's just always going to be that scary factor of the fact that you have no idea if the person standing in front of you is carrying symptoms because they feel fine. Mark Cuban thinks it's ridiculous, and we know that he is a very blunt and realistic voice in not only the NBA community, but in the nation. So what do you guys think about Mark Cuban speaking on the fact that the NBA is a little ridiculous to jumping really quickly to heading back to trying to make games happen, practices happen, and opening facilities? All right, guys, stay tuned with us really quick as we have a commercial break, and then when we come back, we will talk COVID-19 and the NFL.
One of the things I love about Bass Pro is they have 3 great ways to shop.
You can head into one of their awesome stores, visit BassPro.com or get great gear from that catalog Johnny Morris sends out. Hi, here's your package. Bass Pro Shops, where commitment, passion, and the great outdoors all come together.
Why would you shop anywhere else?
All right, guys, welcome back to FNN Sports Take with me, Kasey Hudson. Now, what I meant by we'll jump into some COVID-19 conversation, it's not the fact that we're going to give you guys any kind of diagnosis information that you're looking for and anything spectacular or important. This COVID-19 conversation takes place to the fact that our Tampa Bay new quarterback, Tom Brady, is in the midst of a lot of crap talking with Peyton Manning. They will be aligning side with Tiger Woods as well as Phil to hold a golf match. $10 million will go in virus relief. So obviously this is going to a bigger cause, but we all love entertainment. We love seeing these guys that we look up to, having these conversations, getting in these places where they can just, play sports outside of their element, where they could talk trash to one another. We can really see their personalities. So it's exciting that we're going to chance to see this happen soon. But if you guys caught yesterday, they put some glimmers up on ESPN Sports Center and Sportsnet that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, they've been talking trash with each other for months now. But the day is almost here where this golf tournament will take place. And the bigger cause of it is the fact that money will go to COVID-19 relief. And everybody knows that whether you were indirectly or directly hit by this, everybody is in this together. And everybody has particular needs. It did get pretty entertaining to the fact that Tom Brady, he just comes off so sweet, but he has those digs, and Peyton Manning has those returns on him. So if you didn't get a chance to catch that Zoom call, head over to Instagram. You can catch a glimmer of it on Tom Brady's or Peyton Manning's. As for NFL news, there's been a lot of conversations of the fact as why is Jadeveon Clowney still a free agent? We know that he went from playing in Texas to playing with Seattle, but he's a very dynamic defensive end. This guy makes plays happen. He is the guy that you want on your team in those crucial moments in the red zone when you want that team to suffer for thinking that they were going to get that touchdown. But he's a free agent, and he's been a free agent. So what is this? What is the issue? Why is this still happening? Where do you guys think Jadeveon Clowney belongs? Where should he spend the next 3, 4, 5 years of his career? Because I don't see it ending anytime soon. I'm actually pretty shocked to the fact that he's still a free agent. But if it is coming to a close quite soon, what team should he be closing out his career with? And then aside from that conversation that I would love to hear back from you guys on, why is he still a free agent? Is there somebody more dynamic than Jadeveon Clowney on the edge in terms of the success that he has had and the injuries that he has overcome and fought through to be on that line? I can't wait to hear back from you guys on that because, again, I am stunned that he is still looking for a team to be a part of. Look, I'd have no problem with him coming to Tampa Bay. Like, why not just make us that much better, that much more dynamic and dominant? I'm all for it. As for other NFL conversation, should Tua be a starter for the Miami Dolphins? That's been a big controversy as of the last 48 hours. We know that he went from trying to figure out his number. He's no longer wearing 13. Now he's going to be number 1. So, will number 1 be the starting QB? Will he be QB1 for the Miami Dolphins? In my personal opinion, groom him now. The Dolphins haven't had much luck in terms of putting all their hope and their wishes on a quarterback's back in the last 3 seasons. So why not try a fresh start and take a risk on Tua? We know that he has a unique skill set. I'm still completely fascinated and taken with the fact that he is a left-handed QB. And, it's virtual right now, but I know that the NFL will have an opportunity to have those one-on-ones, that face-to-face, and that physical contact before entering the season. After the excitement of schedules being released, I'm very, very hungry for this chance for these guys to get on the field with one another. So I think that he could be a QB1 starting off the gate. He's going to take his hits, but you see these guys really develop come week 7, week 8. So why not take the risk on it? Because you've put your faith in guys' hands who have been veterans and who have played in this league for 3, 4 years, and they haven't really accomplished crap. And then they get injured, and then you're on QB2 and QB3. So I say Tua is a QB1 in my book. Now, we had an opportunity to kind of hear some of Coach Arians' interview the other day on Zoom. Guys, I love Coach Arians. Like, not only the fact is he a player's coach, but like even as somebody on media or just a general fan, he just has that energy that's like, come be a part of our team. Like, it doesn't feel so exclusive. It doesn't feel like you can't get close to him. He's very personable. He's very transparent. But he did open up to the fact that the reason Rob Gronkowski is in Tampa Bay is because of Tom Brady. Brady was so psyched to be here that when he talked to his BFF Gronk, and they had actually thrown the ball back and forth with one another at UCLA months ago, and Gronk had basically told Tom Brady, look, if you come across any interesting opportunities, just let me know. Well, Tom Brady hopped on that the minute that he relocated to Tampa and got comfortable. He's like, look, it's pretty sick here. You're living in paradise. You're playing for a great coach, because they call Arians the QB whisperer for a reason. Imagine the dynamic between Tom Brady and Coach Arians. We saw a lot of respect develop between Arians and Winston. So I cannot wait to see the relationship that develops between Arians and Brady. But long story short, Arians did confirm the fact that if it wasn't for Tom Brady, we wouldn't have a Rob Gronkowski, and we do have one of the sickest tight end classes in the league. That's not biased, that's facts. As for other news in Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Lightning signed a new defenseman, Dmitry Simikin. I don't want to butcher his last name. It's very tough to pronounce people's names that are from other countries, so bear with me. But he will be entering a 3-year entry-level deal. So now we have Hedman, we have Chernak, we have Zach, we have Simikin. Like, what's going on at the Lightning? What guys are staying? Because we know that when the pandemic hit, when the COVID-19, and the stay-at-home and everything went into effect, they had to bring in some of the Syracuse guys back to Tampa. So what guys will be heading back to Syracuse to play in the AHL? What guys are they going to be keeping here on roster at the NHL? Because now guys have had time to heal in terms of Rutta, one of the other defensive men that we have. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Lightning do with their roster once they start getting the clearance to get back to their facilities and how they're going to resume their season, because they've signed a couple of guys. There's some guys that have to go back to AHL. There's some guys that stepped up and helped us win major games, probably our last 5 to 6 games before everything got shut down. So I can't wait to see where the Lightning go with this. I know that we have a very strong first line and rotation, but at the end of the day, they have to kind of dive into playoff mode. It's not finishing a season. It's straight playoffs from here on out. So you're going to have to go with your best guys right away. So it was fascinating to see that they chose to sign another defenseman at this moment. But you know what? They have a plan, and I trust Coach Cooper because he's a very brilliant guy. And for those of you guys that did not know, Cooper actually was a lacrosse guy growing up, not a hockey guy. So he's translating a lot of different plays into a hockey system, even though there's a lot of parallels between hockey and lacrosse. So that's why he probably has that interesting and unique perspective that he lays out on the ice, because we have one of the best teams in the league. It's just making sure everyone's on the same page and striking that chemistry. Sports is all about chemistry. All right, guys, that's it for me on this Friday night. I hope everybody had a great week. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I hope that COVID-19 doesn't stop you from enjoying time with your family or connecting with loved ones. As for now, guys, we have one more commercial break left for you, and I will see you Monday at 8 p.m.
Mercury agents everywhere are saving people hundreds and are also there to help save the day.
That was fast.
You covered.
Thanks, agents.
Watch out!
That's my car!
Don't worry, we're here to help.
For savings and service above the rest, you can count on Mercury.